At the beginning, Ash was thinking that the magic of bonds and the holy sword, or Kizu for short, was a game in which the heroine Fine Stout was able to use holy magic, which allowed her, despite being a commoner, to enroll in a royal magic academy that only accepted royalty and aristocrats. There, Fine strengthened her relationships with the capture targets and eventually married one of them after defeating the last boss. Ash remembered that it was an RPG-style utsuge game with a rags-to-riches theme, and what made it famous was that it was nuts. The reason for that was Fine's bad ending route. To get this route, Fine had to fail to reach a certain affection level with any of the capture targets and start her second year with low favor among her friends. Because her holy magic was despised as filthy dark magic and she became the target of vicious bullying, Fine was forced to drop out and vanished into the night. Some people even said it was a tear-jerker from start to finish, and Ash wondered if the devs had intended to make adults cry in the first place. Ash thought that this depressing scenario was actually the game's real ending. Ash thought of himself as Ash Lebanon and explained internally that he was a Japanese man reincarnated into the world of Kizu. One day after he turned 10, Ash was flipping through maps and reference books for his future dungeon delving. While looking at one of the books, Ash muttered to himself that he wanted to explore that dungeon someday, and that this was what the monsters looked like. As he stared at the picture, he noted that the creature's weakness was water, but then added that, in reality, physical attacks were the easiest way to defeat it. Ash sat there wondering why he knew these things. At that moment, Ash remembered playing Kizu in his previous life. Drawing on those memories, Ash finally understood his situation. He discovered that he had been reborn into the Lebanon family, the lowest-ranked aristocrats, baronets. He was the second son of the family, and his position was as low as it could possibly be among both the nobility and within his own household. Ash thought he wasn't even a mob. In a way, he believed he was fortunate, because since he wasn't an heir, he was free to live how he wanted. That said, Ash noticed there were differences from the game. His character, Ash Lebanon, did not actually exist in the original world of Kizu. Moreover, there was one problem. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't remember the most important thing, what the heroine looked like. Ash wondered what route the world was following now, and whether Fine even existed. He had seen the capture targets at the academy, so he knew for certain this was the world of Kizu. Then it was raining, and Ash was walking with an umbrella while thinking that he might as well take a shortcut to the dorm. The rain began pouring down harder. Ash noticed something and froze. Someone was sitting on the ground, and when he got closer, he realized it was a girl. She had injuries, and her clothes were damaged. Ash thought she must be a girl from their school, and wondered if she had been bullied. Ash told her that if she stayed there any longer, she would catch a cold. Fine told Ash not to get involved with her, and said that she liked sitting there. Ash sighed, took off his blazer, and handed it to Fine along with his umbrella, telling her to take it. Fine was shocked, and Ash ran off, saying she didn't need to return it and calling out goodbye. The scene then shifted and a house appeared. Ash was lying on his bed, thinking that he had really done it. No matter how much he trained, his immune strength never increased. Ash thought that as long as he avoided causing trouble, he would still be able to graduate even if he had to take days off. Then someone knocked on his door, and Ash wondered who it could be, thinking classes should still be in session. Ash responded and asked who it was as he opened the door. Ash saw Fine, and Fine greeted him with a good day, calling him Mr. Ash and saying she had come to return his things. Ash was shocked and asked how she knew his name and even his dorm room. Fine explained that she had found his ID in his jacket and said that she had considered leaving it with a guard, but after hearing he was in his room, she decided to bring it herself. Ash gave a quick thanks and thought to himself that his cold had gotten worse. Ash told Fine that she should go back quickly, saying he'd feel bad if she caught his cold, but he collapsed while saying the word cold. Fine caught Ash. Ash apologized. Fine asked if he had a fever, right? Ash insisted it was nothing. Fine said that wouldn't do, and that they should get him back to his bed, asking how that sounded. Ash agreed. They went inside and Ash lay down. Fine asked Ash if he had any cold medicine. Ash said no. Fine then said she understood, and told Ash to close his eyes, apologizing in advance if this caused any discomfort. Ash wondered what she was doing, and felt the pain in his throat and the fatigue in his body easing away. Fine then touched his forehead and stepped back, saying his fever seemed to have gone down, so she would be leaving. Ash asked her to wait a minute, and said he needed to repay her. Fine told him that his appreciation was enough, and said that, as she had mentioned yesterday, just then Fine's stomach growled. Fine sat down and, blushing, apologized and asked if Ash had heard that. Ash said he had been about to eat something, and asked if she wanted to eat with him. Fine replied that a sick person shouldn't be cooking right now, and said she would make the food instead. Ash agreed. The scene then shifted and Fine was shown with food. Fine said the meal was ready, and that she wasn't sure if it would taste good. Ash thanked her and looked at the dish, thinking it looked delicious. He took a bite and said it was hella tasty. Ash then told Fine to eat as well. Fine asked if she really could, then said she wouldn't hold back. She took a bite, and tears rose in her eyes. Ash was startled and asked what was wrong. Fine explained that she hadn't eaten warm food in a long time, so she reacted like that. Ash felt it reminded him of how she had been sitting in the back alley and wondered if something had happened to her. They ate and finished the food, and Ash thought the silence felt strange. He then noticed Fine had fallen asleep and realized she was already out. Ash smiled, thinking it seemed she had been able to relax. The scene then shifted to the next day. A boy was shown lying on the ground and Ash holding a sword. It was announced that the winner was Ash Lebanon. Ein commented that 3 wins in a row was impressive. Ash told Ein that he was in the best shape he had been in for years. Ein said that even as Ash's friend, he had been shocked to see Ash, who had been in bed earlier, easily defeat every opponent. Ash thought that it was true. Yesterday, he could barely stand on his own. Since Ash had woken up early, he had left a note and the key for the girl who was still sleeping before heading out, wondering if she had been able to rest. The scene then shifted to a cafeteria. Ein asked Ash what he planned to eat for lunch, and Ash said he would have the pork cutlet curry. Ein answered that he would have ramen with onions, he guessed. Ash then said that, by the way, something big had happened yesterday. Ein asked what he meant. Ein then said that His Highness Albert had announced his engagement. Ash reacted with a cry of shock. Ash thought that Prince Alberich was this country's second prince and one of the captured targets in Kizu. Ash asked who the girl was. Ein said that if he recalled correctly, her name was Ellie Ringstadt. Ash wondered who that was, since there wasn't a character like that in the game, and questioned what was going on. Ash asked if she was perhaps the daughter of a duke. Ein said that she was from a baronet family, just like them. Ash thought that the students at the academy were divided into classes based on noble ranking, and that their curriculums differed, making interaction nearly impossible. Ash said it was surprising that royalty could find common ground with her, and that he wanted to take a look. Ein said he heard that as soon as Ellie's engagement was announced, she was transferred to an upper-rank class. Ash said that, but right then Ein pointed toward a table and told Ash to look. Ellie was shown telling Alberich that she had packed him a boxed sandwich that day and asking if he wanted a bite while holding sandwiches. Prince Alberich replied that of course he would, and that he would eat anything she cooked for him with a smile. Ein asked if that box wasn't from a school cafeteria. Ash said that it was, and that it was the cheapest one available. Then a plate full of food was shown, and Ash asked where they should sit. Ein said, "Let's see." Ash then spotted Fine, and thought that she had managed to get to school without any trouble. Ash asked Ein if he would mind sharing a table. Ein replied that he didn't care. They walked toward Fine. Then someone called out to her. It was a fat boy. He asked if it was really Fine who, despite being of vulgar birth, dared to attend this noble academy, and he called her stupid wench. Ash thought that those guys were sleeve holders. Only students in the upper-rank classes were allowed to wear decorations on their uniform sleeves. Lower-rank students called them sleeve holders, and upper-rank students referred to the lower ranks as sleeveless. The fat boy said that people like Fine should disappear quickly, and called her a damn witch. Fine didn't respond. The fat boy shouted, asking if she was ignoring him, and pulled out his sword. As he attacked, he said he would show her there was no place for her there. Ash blocked the strike with a knife. The fat boy shouted, "What?" and demanded if Ash even understood what he was trying to do. Ash replied that he was protecting a girl being bullied by a lowlife. The fat boy swung again, and Ash dodged, then dodged once more. Ash kicked the sword away, sending it flying to the ground. He then punched the fat boy in the stomach, knocking him down. Ash thought that he knew it, and that he felt great now, still hating him in his thoughts. Students gathered around and asked what was happening, and whether it was a fight, a quarrel between a sleeveless and a sleeve holder. Ein told Ash he had overdone it. Ash called to Ein, apologized, and said he would leave the rest to him. Ein shouted in surprise. Ash picked Fine up in his arms, and she reacted with a startled sound. Ash ran off with her while carrying her. Ein yelled that Ash would have to explain all of this properly tomorrow. The scene then shifted and houses appeared. Fine asked Ash if he could please put her down. Ash responded with an and apologized. Fine said she was only asking now, but she wanted to know why Ash had gone so far for her. Ash answered with a thoughtful sound, and said he simply couldn't leave her alone. Fine, blushing, said she understood. Ash added that in any case, they were standing out in their uniforms in broad daylight, and suggested going to his mansion since it was nearby. Fine agreed. Then the scene shifted, and Ash was shown opening a door while saying they had arrived. Fine looked shocked and tense, asking what could have happened for things to end up like that, and what about the servants. Ash said that in short, they didn't have anyone there. He added that the whole situation was basically because selling all the dungeon loot was too much of a bother. Fine asked where the cleaning tools were kept. Ash replied with an A and asked why. Fine said that they needed to clean the house, and if Ash stayed too long, he might get sick. Ash said that he usually lived in the dorm. Fine asked what he would do if he couldn't. Ash replied, "Well, that's then," and pointed at a door, saying he thought the tools were stored in the back room. Fine said they should start cleaning now. Ash asked if she was okay, with just an apron. Fine said there were no problems at all, and that they should finish quickly. Ash said it was pitiful, but was his fault. They started cleaning, and Ash thought to himself, wondering why the sleeve holders disliked her so much when he could clearly see she was one herself. Then Fine was shown on the stairs cleaning, and Ash saw her underwear. He thought he could see her panties clearly, and with a tense face, wondered whether he should say something. Fine came down, and some books fell. A shelf behind her was about to topple. Ash yelled, "Look out," with a tense face, and saved her just in time. Fine thanked him sincerely. Ash said no, it was his carelessness, and asked if she was okay. Fine replied that he had protected her, so let her ask him instead if he was all right. Ash said he was fine, and added that he would check if anything else had fallen. Fine said she would do the same, her face tense. Then she said, "Could you please let go of me?" Ash responded with an and apologized again. Fine said it was fine, as she hadn't been paying attention either. Ash said that he had to say it, though Fine looked confused. He added that he had just gotten a clear view of her panties. Fine turned her back, blushed, and shouted, asking why he hadn't said anything sooner. The scene then shifted, and the room was shown clean. Fine said it looked different now, and told Ash that he should clean it regularly from now on. Ash asked, "By the way, what about dinner?" Fine said it was obvious he was deliberately changing the topic. Ash said nothing. Fine then asked if she could use the shower. Ash said yes, but reminded her that it was a man's home and asked if she was okay with that. Fine said that after being princess carried there and having him see her panties, it was past worrying. Ash reacted with an and apologized again. Fine smiled, blushing, and told him to forgive her for teasing him. Ash said he really didn't mind it at all. He was shocked. Fine then said, all right, and that she was going to take a shower. Ash remembered something. Fine was the heroine. He thought that if he considered it, the holy magic only Fine could use was what had healed his cold in an instant. Ash wondered if Fine was treated that way by the upper-ranked students because of it. In other words, holy magic was already considered dark magic. That meant the world Ash was in now was heading straight toward the bad ending. The scene showed Ash thinking that the bad ending route in Kizu was different from those in other OM games. He reflected that the credits did not roll the moment the player reached this ending. Even after entering the bad ending route, the player had to endure hatred, suffering, abuse, and vilification from every character until the end of the common route. Ash thought that if the player tried to delete their progress midway through the game, all unlocked content, acquired items, and status upgrades would be lost, which was why the player had to keep going whether they wanted to or not. Both Fine and the player endured pain, and for this reason, Kizu was called a nuts. Leaning against the wall, Ash thought they were right in the middle of that route. Then Fine opened the door and came in, expressing her thanks to Ash for letting her use his shower. Ash told Fine not to worry, and added that he had been presuming she was that finito. Fine was shocked and asked if Ash had known who she was. Ash, also surprised, said he had heard that a girl with amazing magical abilities had enrolled in the upper-rank aristocracy class despite being a commoner in his first year. He thought that he wasn't lying, but those rumors had almost immediately stopped. Considering it, Ash realized it was probably because they had entered the bad ending route. Fine grasped her own hand, and Ash apologized for being insensitive. Fine told him not to worry, and with a tense face, said that she should be the one apologizing for hiding her name from him. Ash replied that he was actually fine with that. They both fell silent, and Ash thought that now he had gone too far, not meaning for Fine to look so forlorn. He then said that, anyway, it was late, so Fine could stay at his house that night. Fine thanked him sincerely, and said she would gladly accept. The scene shifted to the next morning, and Ash was shown walking into class, greeting Fine in his mind, and then noticing something. A letter lay on his desk. It was from Fine. The letter said that she wished to properly express her sincere apology for hiding her identity, burdening Ash with her requests and causing him inconvenience, and that she would leave immediately. Ash looked at it and asked what the heck it was, then slammed the letter on the bench and thought angrily that he should have predicted how Fine would act in her current state. He realized he had already decided that continuing this bad ending route, which made Fine suffer repeatedly and caused her to lose her smile, was something he did not want to see or do anymore, and that this was why he had to act. The scene shifted, and a crowd was shown. Ash wondered what all the people were gathered for, and walked toward them, thinking that he needed to find Fine as soon as possible. Ash then saw Prince Alberich declaring that it seemed commoners could not keep track of their own actions. Ash looked at the group and thought that those were Fine and His Highness Alberich.